Hi, this is Michael Cohen. I'm a Dallas elder and estate planning attorney, and I'm joined by my good friend and colleague, Don Crawford Jr., who I used to have a radio show with, and he so graciously agreed over the last year to continue. But just now we do it like we're doing today. So say hello, Don.
Oh, God. Everything seems like video, so I guess we have to join the crowd, right, Michael?
Absolutely. So this is the way it is nowadays. So anyway, we hope that you'll enjoy some of these different topics. Today, I thought I'd talk about. I don't know if anybody has heard of a guy named Tony Hsieh. Tony Hsieh started a company called Zappos. Zappos was a very successful, he sold shoes and other clothing, etc., online, and Amazon bought it. He then um, bought a bunch of Las Vegas real estate. And when he died about 5 years ago, his estate was worth $500 million. He died in an accident, fire, and he was thought to not have a will. And so when you don't have a will, usually it goes to your closest relatives. That means that he still had a father and he had siblings. So the father was named the administrator of the estate. That means he's in charge of how the money is distributed. Well, a weird thing has happened. A mysterious will came from supposedly from Pakistan, and it had an individual whose last name was Singh said he found it in his grandfather's belongings. And he then, the will had named two Las Vegas attorneys as co-executors. Well, first of all, there was no known records of him with the with any connection between the grandfather and Zappos Tony Hsieh, or there was no connection with those two executor attorneys who were surprised to see their names involved in this as well. They sent a copy of the will to both the court and and also to the executors, and so uh, they applied for probate of this. Now the will had things different, as you can imagine, than saying everything goes to the family. And in this particular will, which had 30 million going to Harvard and a bunch of money going to people or organizations that were not known. Certainly, there was no connection with Shea. Um, but in that will, it had the unusual provision, not that there should be a no contest provision, but said if any member of the family contest, they all get cut out, all of them. That means $500 million of risk that if they contested. So they just said it was a sham. So they hired like the head of Homeland Security, the person that was with the Unabomber, and they looked at their creases and they looked at the paper and the ink. The ink on the dress certificate was dry, but we don't know about what was on the will. So, so anyway, they had this, and so on July 21st of 2026, they came out with a 410-page report. It was inconclusive. It was inconclusive if it was the original, if it was a real will or not. So they immediately, though, sealed the will. Sealed the will. Why? Well, there were certain things in there like social security numbers and even the judge's cell phone number. So there needed to be some redacting, marking out, if nothing else. So, so, but you wonder why all of a sudden, why if there's a, what's the connection with Pakistan to begin with, and why, what was they looked up the name of the grandfather. Well, it was a common name in Pakistan. There was a whole bunch of people, so they couldn't even figure out if it was the right person or not. And there was some other things that were suspicious, like they misspelled the deceased name a couple times. And it was very, yeah, it sounds kind of weird, And, not to mention, you could tell it wasn't done by an attorney. In fact, they had a linguistics expert said this was not done by an attorney, and it was obviously a non-speaking from a country, not from an English-speaking country. Um, and then also the five witnesses to the will, they cannot find any of the witnesses, so nobody has come forward on that. Um, so, but there's these other beneficiaries who would say, "Oh, well, I'd like to be a beneficiary." So, and the court, if there is an original will, they have to determine whether it's original or not. Now, and they found the guy that submitted the will, the grandson of this guy in Pakistan. Um, they kind of discovered that he had a Wyoming address of some sort, um, but we don't know if it's an original or not. Now, you would think it's a scam. You know, why nobody would come back? Um, I mean, it looks like a duck, whatever. It sure sounds like a scam, but the report from the expert on ink and paper and everything like that was inconclusive. So there is the possibility that it was a valid will. Kind of reminds you of the Howard Hughes thing a long, long time ago. Remember when he had something in handwriting and there was all the dispute of where that is that a will and does it go to whoever it was. So now we have that. You have something similar today.
It's really interesting because you bring this up and it comes to mind when you said in the beginning the value of the estate and whether it's caveat emptor, air beware, et cetera, et cetera. Just because the viewers don't have an estate that's worth $500 million does not mean they should not attend your next workshop. They should not come to you and have their estate reviewed. They don't need $500 million worth of assets to have estate reviewed. Everybody should have it reviewed because things change so much.
Thank you. I mean, I appreciate that. And I'll mention that in a second, but it does go to show you that now, no matter how big or small, if you, let's say you just have, oh gee, um, we had somebody this last month and the husband and wife had a home. Well, the husband had a will, but the wife didn't. Well, what happened? Well, for her, we have to go by laws of intestacy. Well, what do the laws of intestacy say without a will? Well, it's split between her children. Oh, why? Because she had a child from a prior relationship. So now all of a sudden, half goes to these children, as which is different than the husband's will. It includes the child from a prior relationship. So now you have to get everybody to agree they want to sell the house. So the five kids and the executor of the estate have to agree. It just ends up being more of an expense and more of a problem and more of a delay when you just don't do something simple. And they didn't, their main asset was just a home. And we had another one which we talked about, I think, previously on a show where the person made a mistake on the will. They only had one witness and found out that there was half siblings and that they never knew about. Well,
Reason to go to your workshop so the survivor is prepared.
that's
That's
right.
great.
Because anybody could, I mean, and there's options where a lot of people ask about wills versus trust and things like that. So everybody's different. To go that next workshop, all you have to do is call 214 720 0102 or sign up online at dallaselderlawyer.com. That's dallaselderlawyer.com or call that 214 720-0102 number. It's 2 hours. It's free. Um, you'll learn a lot. You'll learn not only from the questions that you may ask. We ask people at the beginning, what do you want to know? But we also you will learn from the questions of others. Um, so it's 2 hours, and if you're interested in going to it, and if you do go to the free workshop, then you also get what we call a free vision meeting, where you go over your own situation, whether it be about wills or trust or Medicaid or veterans benefits or probate, whatever, some things like that. That's what we usually discuss.
And it's
So
nice about the workshop too is that, of course, it's done in person. It's not online, to bear that in mind. And also, it's casual. It's not formal. It's not like you have to sit there and be all erudite and intelligent and know what you're talking about and wear a tie. It's just very easy.
yeah, it's casual and it's easy, like you said, and it's you. A lot of times we spend most of the time answering people's questions. But we do have a presentation as well. So I hope y'all will attend. Thank you, Don.
Mike.